Hey guys, welcome back to Kumasao Reviews. I am under the weather, but I had to go ahead and knock this one out. Big Firebird toy EX-01 Nicee finally got this guy in stock. This is actually a anime mecha toy company. I believe they actually have a production studio that does anime to coincide with a lot of their other original releases and stuff like that, but they are doing a couple of Transformer stylizations as well. So this is the first of those. This is Nicee, their take on the Transformers G1 character Arcee. First off, we're going to go ahead and give it a measurement because it's a lot larger than I thought it was going to be in person. I thought it was going to be that classics kind of deluxe Voyager scale, but no, this thing is just under 7 inches tall, about 6 3/4. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put out a couple of masterpiece size figures that I own. You guys have the measurement, so don't ask me to compare it to anything else, but rather use a ruler and take your own measurements so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. But okay, this is an official Takara MP33, I believe, Grapple, as well as Make Toys' MTRM something downbeat. Their take on Jazz. So you can see there, he's a shorter Masterpiece character, as well as one of the larger official Masterpiece characters. There you go. Now we're just going to take a look at what comes in the box accessory-wise. She does have some modular parts that come on her as well and become weapons and things, but we'll go over it all. But in the box, the separated pieces are going to be the hood. So you can see right there that it's at least a partial parts former. I haven't transformed this guy yet. I'm going to do the for the first time on video. Instructions look simple. This is a piece that lets the hood that comes off become like a bow and arrow kind of deal. This is the arrow to coincide with that. She has a sword. Then zooming in a bit, these pieces on the right hand side. So she comes with soft goods. That's what I would call them. Her cleavage swaps in and out. This is more of a rubbery soft type material. I'm not going to use it. One, not my thing. Two, it's bright white where the character or the toy is pearlescent. So it doesn't match, in my opinion, as well. But I mean, it's hard to see from me touching it, but it's a harder rubber. Like that kind of deal. So this is a whole other head. The faces do come out, off, not out. So I don't know if there are going to be additional faces in the future, but it's a whole separate head and it just pegs right into the neck. Alright, focus back here. You see a variety of hands. The one problem that I have with hands, I hate when hands aren't equal. So the sword holding hand, it only comes with one for the right hand, which is really unfortunate. The sword doesn't even holster or anything like that, so it's not like she's got a holster on this side, it needs to be on this side to make it realistic where she grabs it. No, they just did one for the sake of, I guess, defining her as right hand, even though she has two trigger fingers, hands, for the sake of her one pistol. So, okay. But you can see open hands. This is an open hand, but more just straight. So that kind of deal. And again, those are the accessories. Alright, so just giving you guys a roundabout so you can see the gist of it. That's a lot of car on her back. Unfortunately common with a lot of Arcee, quote-unquote, toys. Give you guys one more. But a lot of this moves around, comes off, etc. Yeah. Now, I talked to you guys about modular parts and the like. A big one is going to be this hood, which completely comes off. But you have the option, it's on a double hinge here. It goes up and down. These pieces themselves, the fenders, they have some options as well. Alright. And I actually really like that look. It's the first time I've done it with the fenders up. I dig that quite a bit. But my favorite so far is, I'm going to go ahead and get that taken off. It's technically a weapon. Is taking that guy off. And her feet, as you can see, pretty small. She's wearing heels, so just making sure both points of contact on each foot touch. Alright, so this can go up. And then this folds up, the back seat. And then just taking those and going like that. I don't really as much like the fact that these go so far up, but you've got nothing hanging from her butt. From the front it looks quite a bit better. And you could even put them a little bit back if you want, but yeah, so far this is my preferred look for her. And for the sake of this review, I'm going to do that because you've seen how the default look looks. And now let's go ahead and go into the articulation. So the head is on a peg, as I showed you guys. It has a up and down hinge built inside of the head. It can still, you hear that squeak, 360, but that's the neck 360, not the head. So the head sticks straight in, there's no swivel at the head, but the neck, it looks like that's on a ball joint of its own, and that can 360, lean, that kind of stuff. So all the way down, using both the hinge and the neck itself, and then looking up quite a bit. And I'm sure you guys have noticed, not a lot of toys have good downward and upward tilt like that, so that's pretty cool. Now the shoulders, they actually have a hinge to where they can move up and down. Part of that's for the transformation. Alright, so there is a bit of movement in the shoulders. Some people right away had told me about like reversing the shoulders or doing something like that with them so that there's additional movement in there. I haven't looked into that, but I'm just using the default shoulder setup. So you saw the around and about. Alright. Now the parallel doesn't go up super high, but it does go up. Bicep swivel. Elbow joint, so single jointed, but still goes past 90 degrees. The wrists rock every way. And then those, they're on the ball joint. Start looking at the waist. So I'm going to look at the upper waist. There's that. And then there's some back bend, ab crunch. Now with the way that this is molded, I'll show you. Zoom in there. I don't believe there's any waist movement in the actual waist itself, that connection. So it's all in that upper part there. All right. But that is neat. I love that she has like insinuated hip bones and stuff like that. That's just cool. Now the hips can actually slide up and down for that extended movement. A lot of Super Robot toys do that. This is a non-transforming toy company, or non-transformers toy company by heart, so that could be why. Now I noticed that the hips themselves here, they extend a bit, so I don't know exactly what that's for. I don't know if it's for the swivel, or for something in the transformation, but they do. All right, get this all lined back up. Okay. Now the outward. And I'm going to drop this already so I can go as far forward as possible. Forward. So stay straight to about, I would say a straight 90. But then as you go farther up, it starts to turn at the hip. All right. Now backwards. That's really good for backwards. I don't get a lot of toys in general lately that really have a backward kick. That's really cool. All right. Knees. Nice die-cast knees. Firm, too. All right, double jointed knee there. You saw that. Feet. I'll go over the ankle rock first. Outwards is really good. Inwards is okay. But if you could change that outward with that inward, holy crap. So, put that back. Make sure that you guys can see it and it's focused. Is that? And then forward, okay? Now, make sure that I'm zoomed out all the way. What? I guess we'll do more poses as we look over the weapons, but just something to maybe a walking pose. See how well it balances on these feet in particular. That'll be nice. God, I love that upward Alright, so it is pretty hard to balance, not gonna lie, with these dainty feet. The joints are nice and strong, but I'm just not getting that comfort that I would if she had, like, you know, flat feet. Yeah, this is the first time in a while, like, I haven't gotten a toy to pull or balance in something so basic. Yeah, so I'm not even going to try that, but just for the sake of something, I can show you how this works. So this, the bottom part snaps off. Slide the finger up, or slide the hand up, and then get it back together. These feet. Lower the camera some. Give some tilt. Alright, and there we go. Yeah, I like that. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, so we'll go ahead and look at some of the other accessories, and then we'll get on getting this guy transformed. Okay, and here she is holding her sword, as well as the shield or trunk area. Now, one thing I will say is that this piece in the instructions, it showed that it came in and out, or plugged in and out. And I was like, why? But it's because it reverses. So, like, when you're using it for the car, it's going to go this way. And when you're using it for the shield, since it's facing the opposite direction, you're going to put the fan or spoiler this way. So, really neat. Really, really neat. This is a well thought out toy. Haven't checked out the transformation yet, but so far the bot mode, the engineering and thought behind it, it's so good, and it's that attention to detail that I've talked about in some of my previous reviews, even recently with the Sentinel Legios. You know, it's that little stuff that just shows an amount of care and passion put into a figure. It's pretty damn great. Now, another thing I will say is that with the sword, she doesn't just grip it very well by default. So make sure to slide it. So if you have it right here, it's pretty loose, right? But if you slide it so that her thumb presses against the bottom of that hilt part, of course, then it's a much firmer grip. So then no shake. That kind of deal. Make sure she's still in frame there. But the thumb needs to ride that piece of the handle. Alright? Before I show off this next piece here, just want to show you what I'm doing. There's an adapter piece that goes in right here on this hood part. Clips in. Alright? Soft click, but it stays in really hard. And then you could use the hands, whether it be the right hand, left hand, whatever you want to do to grip it. So, I believe it goes... Yeah, and it grips it pretty firm. So, that's what I've got. Alright? Okay, and here's the bow mode shown in the instructions. So, one side... I actually like the way it looks better. It exposes the optical illusion there, but I like that viewpoint better. Pretty dope. That's good stuff, and it's a nice little way to make an excuse for the separation of all of that kibble on her back too. This is genius stuff. I really like it. The last two things I think I'm going to show off in bot mode before getting it transformed are the additional face and an option that it showed for her hip area. Alright, so the additional face here, get that focused. And it's a whole other head like I showed you guys at the beginning. Oh. The peg was set back as if she was looking up. Make sure she's nice and balanced there. Give you guys a solid view. Alright, so it's like a yelling face, but I think I kind of see a tongue in there. And man, I think the anime fans are going to have a field day with that one. So I'm not even going there, but I think the intent is a angry, yelling face. Leave it at that. Alright. Now, with this piece, I've still got the hand inserted there, but these fenders pop off at the ball joint. And you actually reverse the sides. And these holes right here, they can peg in. And it was shown in the instructions as kind of like a hip skirt type deal. Not gonna lie, I don't really like it. So it's not something that, I don't even think I'll be photographing this. It's just so garish looking to me. Now let me look at the instructions and make sure that I've got these on the right side, because I don't want to do her any injustice there. And I don't. That's what I thought. Alright. Okay. And the wheels fold inwards. No, I was missing something. Yeah. Oh! Jesus. When the thing balances, it balances well, but it's just finding that spot. I tell you what, with this figure. Yeah. Like, it's not awful, but it's just so unnecessary. I think maybe if it had something in front to make it more of a skirt, then I'd be okay with it. But it's just these two big things on the side. You know, if it maybe had something to holster the sword, that would give me an excuse to use it. But as is, it's just unnecessary kibble. And honestly, I'm not one of those to where if it doesn't make sense, I've just got to store everything I can on the figure, blah, 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 bulk it up. No, Perfect Effect, they're like amazing at that kind of stuff. But stuff like this, I'd rather just leave the extra parts in the bag. Okay, so went back through, got everything locked and tight, and yeah. This thing's pretty. I like it quite a bit. See if I can zoom out a little bit. And I do have to say something about the paint on this figure. It's very, 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 very good. Not a single off fleck on it. So the production on this thing just seems very, very tight. Very good. All the wheels roll and roll easy. I mean, you have Transformers toy companies that have been doing this for years. And you put them on the ground and say, no, this is nice. E. There we go. Pun intended. But yeah, I dig it. I dig it quite a bit. Again, this has been Big Firebird Toys, EX-01 Nicee. I get my toys at places like the Toy Source, TF Source. But, I mean, get this one wherever it's available, because I have a feeling that once this one's actually sold out, overseas and all that stuff, it's going to be selling for $300 or $400 compared to the, $95 MSRP. So get it while it's available before you have to pay extra for it when it becomes really hot. A lot of people are buzzing about this one. It's been in and out of kind of the spotlight for years. I remember when they first came out with like renders or drawings or something like that, and everybody was like, ooh, whatever. Then they actually kind of put out like prototype pictures and stuff, and the prototype pictures they were suggestive and stuff like that. This is a company that fully embraces the fact that they're an anime toy company rather than Transformers. So their marketing, it tends to veer more towards that style with the more, I wouldn't even necessarily say sexualized, but embracing sexuality with their advertising and their marketing and stuff like that, instead of just a lot of third parties kind of keep it Hasbro in that it's just straight up toy pictures. Action pictures, yeah, but nothing that really shows, I guess, personality. Where theirs did. They fully embraced that this is a fembot, and I don't think anything was too lewd or anything like that, but, it got controversial. I remember stores having to take pictures of it down and things like that. The company kind of going back on their marketing, so they got out of the spotlight for a bit, and then it was all of a sudden back. Then it was out. But the whole time, there's been buzz and there's been talk. I was even on TFW, and it was like, you can't post pictures of it in the thread because people don't know how to act, apparently. That's fucking sad, but it's what it is, and I respect the site for coming to that agreement if people can't fucking do it right. But anyway, it's here, it's out, and it's a pretty great piece. There are little things about it, like the balance, of course. I wish that it had true waist swivel, but the balance and the waist swivel are things that are understandable. It's got like those molded hips. It's got the feigned like panties, I guess. That style of crotch plate. So there's not a lot you can do with that. And it's not just this figure. There are tons to where when you have those wide hips and stuff like that molded and those suggested hip bones and things, you can't really do anything because the waist and the crotch are all one piece. So the upper abdomen area and lower chest kind of become that waist swivel ab crunch. Like, it takes all of it. So, and this does well for what it's got, and it's on stilettos, so it's not much you could do. A real person on stilettos, I'm not going to say do an Iron Man landing pose, But that's what it is. I really like this figure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. The review and gallery will be up on Kuma Style very, very, very soon. I'm looking to knock that out in the next day or so because I'm loving shooting this figure. But yeah, as always, thanks for your support. Be well, be safe, and I'll see you next time.